does humanity go from here? What have we tried to do? What if there is more, much more? The Keshe Foundation is proud to announce a new way to bring humanity forward through technology that brings humanity in line with the natural operation of the planet and universe itself. The new science and technology discovered and developed by the nuclear engineer Mr Keshe centers upon the use and control of magnetical gravitational fields. This new body of knowledge opens the road to hundreds of potential applications, which offer solutions to most of the fundamental problems of the world, such as water, food, environmental contamination, and shortages of energy. The Keshe Foundation is proud to unveil the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Nestled amidst the beautiful shores of Bari, Italy, the Institute is poised to become a central hub in the spreading of plasma technology and knowledge. With its state-of-the-art 21st century facilities, the Institute will be able to provide students and staff an immersive way to learn the plasma technology, to be the leaders of the new generation of scientists and plasma engineers. The Keshe Foundation has opened the door to the world for peaceful usage of technology that is independent of the limited resources that are available on Earth. This is an understanding of how everything works together in harmony in our universe, and it applies to everything from the smallest to the biggest, from atoms to galaxies. We all are able to collectively work together in pursuit of knowledge, innovation, and solutions for our society. This learning environment is new to the world, where there will be no test to confirm your understanding. The knowledge of everyone will be respected and allowed to flourish in a nurturing environment. Hands-on testing and experimenting will be widely used in conjunction with roundtable discussions to bring all opinions and knowledge forward. Students will be introduced to a change in the ethos of working in collaboration. Students will experience firsthand how we share knowledge in a free and open manner. Graduating students are expected to share the knowledge they gain from the university within their respective communities and nations. All formal teachings, lectures, and presentations will be in the English language, with technology available for immediate translation. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be offering 3-year executive master programs for undergraduate degree students and 1-year executive master programs for graduate degree students in the following fields: space transportation, new plasma technology, health, agriculture, materials, energy. The health section is designed to make students able to live in space without the need to return to Earth. To this end, the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute has found processes for many diseases including ALS, cancer, coma, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will offer online teaching courses which will enable anyone, anywhere around the world to enroll and increase their knowledge and understanding. Students will have the opportunity to direct their work towards commercial spin-offs and seek funding through the help of the Keshe Foundation. The access to the new science and new technologies is openly available for peaceful use to the benefit of mankind to make a better world today. Now you can be part of the changing world and the new knowledge. All commercial spin-offs are intended to be open source and patent-free. This is part of the core ethos of the Keshe Foundation and the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will have its official inauguration on April 21st, 2015, with courses commencing soon after on May 4th, 2015. The students of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be the leaders of the future who will make changes in all areas of space technology, science, medicine, agriculture, and energy. Anyone is able to apply, but acceptance is through invitation only. No prerequisites are required. We will be accepting approximately 250 students for the 3-year Executive Master's Program and 120 students for the 1-year Executive Master's Program. We welcome humanity's participation in the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Where does humanity go from here? That is up to you. Apply today.
Prematurely stop the screen share there. Okay, that was the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute promotional video, and now connect with Mr. Keshe at the Spaceship Institute. Hi, Mr. Keshe. And we also hear from Kevin Devaney on today's kids workshop teaching. Kevin, Mr. Keshe, would you like to go first, or Kevin there?
No problem. As usual, good day to you whenever and wherever you listen to these teachings. And enough, today we have explained a lot about the creation, and I think a lot of children need to know how and the reason they've been created and now why they're here. Maybe they set a different scene for the future of human being on this planet and in the universe. We'll see what Kevin Devana has planned for us. Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Keshe. Hi, Vince. Hello, Rick. It's funny that you brought this issue or this topic up, because I was actually going to ask you to explain in children's or adapted language the totality which you just described in the recent health workshop: physicality, emotionality, soul. And I think the time is mature now to give a bigger picture, the more holistic picture, even especially for kids to understand, where they come from, what is the essence and structure of creation, and where we're going and where are we. And I have a couple of questions from other people from Los Angeles, for example, but maybe we can focus on that now, if it's okay for you.
Yes, in a very nutshell, if the children understand, we call it the principle of chicken or egg. Which one came first, the chicken or the egg? So if you're a child, most probably brought up in the Western society, you see the egg in the supermarket, and 100% you think the chicken comes from the supermarket too. So I have people here laughing, but that's the mentality of the present life. People living in big cities never seen a chicken farm, only buy the chicken, never seen a live chicken except in cartoons or in movies. So to them, that's where the chicken comes from, on the supermarket shelf.
So which one comes first would depend which aisle of the supermarket you go down.
Very much so. Depends. If you go the wrong one, you think the chicken came first, and then you see that. Yeah, I understand. But in the same process as we were discussing earlier on, we explained that life, or the egg, started from the interaction of the field of the earth and the sun, and what came down as the amino acid. This is nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, hydrogen. If you want to remember it easy, we call it Mr. Cohen. So it's easy to remember, because Cohen means the old one, the original. And then when the Mr. Cohen meets table, the iron table, or a zinc plate, it becomes a human being with 2 legs, 2 arms, and fancy clothing. So the man did not come from the supermarket. The man comes from the interaction of the gases with the interaction with the matter state, or the earth solid matters. And then, in a very simple way, he lives a life till, and in this process, when he's born, he has 2 identical twins living in the same body. One is the physical body, and one is the soul of the man. and they function together because one feeds the other and the other one promotes the other. So when they join the cycle of life, till it comes to the point born out of physicality, comes what we call the termination of the cycle of their friendship, or when the soul and the physicality separate, and what we call in terminology of the man, the end, or when we die. And at this point, physicality takes its separation into division of other matter physical, and the soul finds its new place in the station of the creation. And the whole purpose of the creation, as we explained before, is to create a position that the entity, what we call soul, is independent of physicality of the matter state. So now we know where the egg came from, and we know where the chicken ends. So the rest of the process of birth, feeding, shopping, buying PlayStations, and playing is part of this curve. But all of us have a conclusion in separation. And the whole purpose is to elevate the strength and the power of the soul that it finds in the totality of the universe a better position in respect to the creator. If you don't have much strength and you've done all wrong, you're somewhere down here. And if you've done the correct life way of living, you come closer to the creator. And so this is the egg, and this is a roasted chicken. Is that good enough for you? Would I get a master's degree in teaching children? Would you allow me in your school, Kevin?
Definitely. Mr. Keshe, Elizabeth is asking in this regard, first of all, she's asking, why does the sun seem to make more plasma than the moon, or more active plasma, she's asking? And the other question is, she's asking, why does the sun seem to make more plasma, more active plasma than the moon?
Oh my God, I tell you why. If you look at the plasma of the solar system, and this is the sun, this is the earth, and if you can see, this is the moon. This is the sun, this is the earth, and this chappy here, if you can see it, is the moon. Let's make earth a little bit bigger, and this is the moon. Mr. Moon or Mrs. Moon, depending which part of the world you live, because some of us we think is a male and some we think is a female, is a very small dust in the structure of the solar system as the sun. Sun is and carries nearly 95% of all the total mass of the solar system. And when you put Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, and the rest of it together, they make, plus all the material which is as a dust and the energy within this plasma, carry only 5%. So the moon is very insignificant. That's why the sun is the plasma. And in fact, if you go back to the same story of the chicken or egg, the sun releases its plasma, and when it is slowed down enough, it has created the earth in different shape or form, and in that process, earth, due to its meager gravitational magnetic field, has managed to gather some dust to itself, which we call the moon. And this dust has both gravitational magnetic field, this has gravitational magnetic field, and this has. If you put this 10 to size of, let's say, a minibus, or call this one actually a bus, this is less than a wheel of a bicycle, this is a screw or a pin on the wheel. It's so insignificant that it has no effort. That's why the sun radius feels down. As it slows down, different form creates the earth, and in inertial form because of the weaker, smaller gravitational magnetic field of the sun, the moon is positioned there.
Mr. Keshe, perhaps from a child's point of view, since they look up at the sky and they see the moon is about the same size as the sun, as far as something that's, that
Oh, very
and
good.
in the same way that I could fool my sisters when I was a kid by saying this penny is worth more than the dime because it's bigger.
The problem is a very nice point. Let's explain it in an easy way.
So how does the reflection go would be my question. And so
Yeah, you see why it looks big. This is the Earth, and standing here doesn't matter where you are with your little legs and your little arms. The sun is somewhere here, and the moon is somewhere here. Is the positioning, because this is too far, you still see the two near enough the same size, because this is very close. It's a vision and not the reality. So when you look, you're looking at the sun very far. When you look at the moon, it's very close. But it gives that visuality of the presence in that direction.
could you talk about the difference between the reflected light and the radiated light? Like this, the sun would give off rays, but the moon would reflect the rays. Would that be, how would you?
No. Moon still emits field. Moon itself, because it's got both gravitational and magnetic field.
Right. What about, I guess, the visual image we see, like a full moon, for example?
So the vision you see is not the reflection. The light we see on the moon is due to principle, and the only way you see it is here on Earth. The light we have, the daylight, is the interaction of the gravitational magnetic field of the sun and the moon and the Earth. With moon is slightly different, because the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth and the sun and gravitational magnetic field of the moon is a four-way or three-way interaction. You have the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth interacting with gravitational magnetic field of the moon, creating specific light. And then you have the gravitational magnetic field of the sun interacting with gravitational magnetic field of the moon as well. So the light we see on the moon is a composite of interaction of two entities. The same as what we see, the interaction of gravitational magnetic field of the sun by Earth creates what we call the daylight. It's the same proposition in respect to the sun, to the moon. Any moon, depending wherever you are in the solar system, get their light, unless they're in the back of this planet all the time, from the, what you call the mother, the sun. What light you see here is in respect to the two, mother and the moon. Here, when you have it on the horizon, is you see it always. In so many ways, if you understand in more detail the structure of the interaction of the fields, if you go closer to this, where the Earth, I have to do this in a different way, that is correctly understood, when the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth interacts with gravitational magnetic field of the sun, or the moon, somewhere at this point, because Earth has a stronger gravitational magnetic field, the friction between the gravitational and magnetical field of the moon and gravitational and magnetic field of the Earth creates a light. The ones which come from the Earth because of the strength of the Earth in being divided, it's like rubbing the hand, gets pulled back to the Earth. And we see the light of the Earth out of this. The light of the Earth doesn't, the light of the moon doesn't come from the moon. It comes from the interaction of the field. And then when you are on the moon, the light you see is from whatever is interaction in respect to the gravitational magnetic field of the moon itself. It's two different type of light. We see what we interact and pull back due to the gravitational field of the Earth. Here we see the light which gets interacted due to interaction of the gravitational field of the moon. It's like literally two sides of the paper. Even though it's still light because of our vision, the light from the moon we see is primarily from the light from gravitational magnetic field of the Earth, not just the moon. The division, what is strong will come back to us. What is to the moon, gravitational magnetic field goes to the moon. It's the same way in the Earth condition. The gravitational magnetic field, when they interact with the sun and the Earth, gravitational magnetic field of the center of the Earth, which pulls the plasma of the light down. It just doesn't happen to them because otherwise it goes somewhere else. And that's why, in so many ways, we see the Earth anywhere in the solar system, the manner we see, because of the interaction of its field. It's literally, we send the fields, we create a light, and the light shines on both sides. This is how moon structure light are created. In fact, if you go to the sun and look back on Earth, the light from Earth is created on the same basis. We see two different types of light. From Earth, the light we see is according to our gravitational magnetic field, the strength of the center of the planet. The stronger one are pulled back towards the sun. That's what we see. We don't see the same. It's not the light comes in and it comes in, and it's one way. We see what we can extract. Whatever is not extractable, different strength, goes back to the sun. So you see light on both sides. It's very simple. This is the Earth, gravitational magnetic field. This is the sun. When you rub it, you hit both hands. You don't hit one side. When they come together, they don't station. They're not stationary because the both fields are dynamic. Earth rotating, sun rotating. When they rub, you heat up both sides. This hand as much as that. It's the same light. The light we see on the sun, on the side of the Earth, is not the light which is going into the sun, because we extract different strength because of our own gravitational field. The Earth extracts what is its own gravity. It's two different types of lights, totally. Two different strengths. The light coming to us is much stronger than the light which you see on the moon. But because of the proximity, it looks as it shines down directly from there. That's why, the same way we see the image of the sun, Earth, the moon, or we see the face of it. It's like putting a torch on it, but the light comes from you, but it's a reflection of that. This is very important. This is one of the ways of the space technology on the spaceship. On a spaceship program, when you are in a craft, you create a light around the craft the same way. We don't see that much light inside the craft. But interaction of the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth with the interaction of gravitational magnetic field of the center core decide the brightness. This is why we call it the bright light in the sky. We were talking with the cerebrals. They talk about the same thing because the light interacts with the gravitational field of the Earth, and that friction residue is light. And passengers see totally different light than the people outside. Inside is always serene. Outside is volatile because the space outside is different field in respect to condition. Because we only attract what we want to attract according to the field strength of the reactors. Next question.
Thank you for that, Mr. Keshe. There's another question from Elizabeth. She's asking, when we talk about Mr. Cohen, C-O-H-N, does the moon create life on Earth like the sun does?
Yes. The moon has its own style of life and its own structure of life, but not visible to us because the amino acid of moon is different. Life exists in every part of the universe, even in the space between the Earth and the Sun and the Earth and the Moon. And the gravitational magnetic field dictates the style of life and the manner the life can replicate. As I was explaining before in the teachings with the adults, and we showed the video of the NASA, on the upper layer of this planet, which is different gravitational magnetic field, NASA has shown pictures of plasmas following a specific order, meeting, going back in the same pattern, and in a different condition on Earth. We call it human. Life exists on the moon as much as it does between Earth and the moon. It's us who has to adopt technologies to be able to observe life according to replication. Life in universal condition is considered as being able to replicate and maintain. So if you can replicate a field again and again, and it can survive or exist for a time, it's alive. It's a matter because it has a memory and it has a condition to extract fields from the environment and add to what it needs back into it. And so definition of life goes out of being a human or being a worm. It goes to existence of the plasma, which can replicate itself and maintain its existence. So the moon has life. We have to decide and find out how. The Saturn has, Jupiter has, and amongst the space between them, there is a life. There is a life between our Earth, our Sun, the same between the Sun, the solar system, and in the galaxy. If you want to know it, universe is a very busy place. The traffic jam you don't want to get into. There's an old English say, which jam you cannot eat? Traffic jam. Because you never heard that before. Well, in the universe, you don't want to eat the universal jam because it's a chock-a-block. They all replicate, they all give, they all take, but nobody destroys anything else. They take what it needs when they need. So, next question.
There is a question in the chat from Jack. He says, "Can we?"
Is he a child or is he an adult?
I believe he's an adult.
Ah,
We should let the kids ask their questions
or
first.
is it child at heart? They accept as well.
He's trying to make it simple. Like he says, can we say that the first egg was the solar system, the sun is the yolk of the egg, and the earth the germ, free plasma egg white?
Would you like to become an Habib on a germ? That's what humans become. I don't know if you can explain it that way, but if it makes it interesting, it's all the same. If you don't like an egg, you can have it scrambled. So it's all the same. But in fact, the yolk is centered in so many ways. What you say is correct, but the life is by the interaction of its own plasma. So if you think of it, to extend on what you said, is this yolk has a lot of things in it, because there are a lot of moons and planets. So usually you buy one egg, you get one chicken. In this egg, there's a lot of chicken. Because the condition of interaction allows the chicken to be born. This is what we thought. If we go back to the teaching of an egg And chicken, if you take the yolk and the egg, when you have the yolk, there is no life. You can stay as much as you like. But when you introduce another field from the cock, now you have created a three-dimensional effect where this is a slightly different energy than this, a slightly energy. So you create a traffic flow between the two, and as they put the energy, the yolk takes shape and becomes a chicken. Without the third-party intervention, there will be no life. So if you change that to a solar system and Earth or another matter, then you understand life exists in every part of this universe. Because there is constantly mixture of fields with this soup of the atom of the Earth or the solar system. Any other question? Or have it passed your half an hour time? Any other question, Mr. Kevin Davina?
Yeah, we still have maybe the last couple of minutes. You once told us that once you were a kid, you trained your emotional center, if I'm correct, with the headphones. Remember when you were talking about that?
You can find your emotion, your central emotional part, which the physicality doesn't count, through the stereo headphones. If you put a headphone on, the waves, it comes to the point that you don't hear through your ears, but you hear the noise somewhere here. And this is roughly the place of your soul, because that's the soul has no physicality. You hear the noise through your emotion. It's the best way to do. When you do it, you buy one of these headphones so you can adjust the noise. And you choose a stereo system. The best one is the one, if you can, get an 8 microphone or head, what do you call it, speaker. And then you sit on the carpet and you move till you hear the noise somewhere, not through your ear. It's a very tricky job. I've done it. We have this system. Is you put it in the room in a specific position and you move a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. You hear this new ear a bit more till you find the center point. And then you hear the noise of your emotion because there's no physicality. But most of us don't have this. I bought this for experiment. It's a beautiful system. You can use a headphone to adjust it. You can't adjust it with Apple because it's just here. You could have the headphones which adjust till you find where you don't hear. You feel it. You don't hear no vibration. You hear it in the back of your head. That's the position of your soul. And then you get to understand a lot of things through it. I teach you one day. One day I'll bring about 10 or 20 of these headphones and then we put the same music. And each one of us tell me where you find the balance. And you'll be amazed. We mark everything from 0, and none of you will have the same marking point because each soul has different level of feels and the strength and understanding. And according to that is what you want to hear. What I hear is not what you hear. And according to what I hear, structures my soul in what I want to see. Very interesting. Thank you very much for your time, Kevin.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
I hope tomorrow you're ready to take your teaching session.
Yeah, I have prepared myself as good as I could.
We are here to help you and see what we learn from you. Thank you for your time. And thank you for your knowledge.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Have a good evening.
Same to you. Thank you very much. Have we finished, Greg? We can close.
If you wish, Mr. Keshe, we have no more immediate questions, and if you have nothing else to announce.
No. As we said, there is a lot of knowledge is getting dispersed, especially in the past couple of weeks. We are building the second month of the peace program. I wonder how many children have thought, given their souls, because they have a pure souls, they can reach more world leaders, for them to initiate the peace through their time, because peace in their time, now, by them giving their soul, guarantees peace in the time of adulthood. Us, adults, have a very tainted soul, because we do things to what fits us. But the children have a pure soul, and when they give to world leaders, they'll be heard and it'll touch their soul, and then we see the change.
And I think too, the kids should be getting excited about the idea of spacecraft maybe becoming available sooner than we think.
It's already been done. It depends when we show it, unless somebody else show it in public. Let's just put it this way.
Right. Well, I hint
I
at
have a
that.
tip for you children. If you listen to the teaching in the next couple of weeks, you have a fantastic news. You never need to connect yourself and stop playing on your laptops and computer games, because there is a new energy system which lasts forever. So the only thing which will stop you playing is the voices, you had enough, go to bed. So there we are. I have one of them, it just walks in. Thank you very much. Thank you indeed. Have a nice day. Bye. Bye for today.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Yes? Hello?
I said thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Okay.
Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy your time. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks everybody. That's the end of the 18th Kids Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Tuesday, June 30th. And it's the end of the day. Thank you everybody for attending.
Where does humanity go from here? What have we tried to do? What if there is more, much more? The Keshe Foundation is proud to announce a new way to bring humanity forward through technology that brings humanity in line with the natural operation of the planet and universe itself. New science and technology discovered and developed by the nuclear engineer Mr Keshe centers upon the use and control of magnetical gravitational fields. This new body of knowledge opens the road to hundreds of potential applications, which offer solutions to most of the fundamental problems of the world, such as water, food, environmental contamination, and shortages of energy. The Keshe Foundation is proud to unveil the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Nestled amidst the beautiful shores of Bari, Italy, the Institute is poised to become a central hub in the spreading of plasma technology and knowledge. With its state-of-the-art 21st century facilities, the Institute will be able to provide students and staff an immersive way to learn the plasma technology, to be the leaders of the new generation of scientists and plasma engineers. The Keshe Foundation has opened the door to the world for peaceful usage of technology that is independent of the limited resources that are available on Earth. This is an understanding of how everything works together in harmony in our universe, and it applies to everything from the smallest to the biggest, from atoms to galaxies. We all are able to collectively work together in pursuit of knowledge, innovation, and solutions for our society. This learning environment is new to the world, where there will be no test to confirm your understanding. The knowledge of everyone will be respected and allowed to flourish in a nurturing environment. Hands-on testing and experimenting will be widely used in conjunction with roundtable discussions to bring all opinions and knowledge forward. Students will be introduced to a change in the ethos of working in collaboration. Students will experience firsthand how we share knowledge in a free and open manner. Graduating students are expected to share the knowledge they gain from the university within their respective communities and nations. Now you can be part of the changing world and the new knowledge. All commercial spin-offs are intended to be open source and patent-free. This is part of the core ethos of the Keshe Foundation and the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will have its official inauguration on April 21st, 2015, with courses commencing soon after on May 4th, 2015. The students of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be the leaders of the future who will make changes in all areas of space technology, science, medicine, agriculture, and energy. Anyone is able to apply, but acceptance is through invitation only. No prerequisites are required. We will be accepting approximately 250 students for the 3-year Executive Master's Program and 120 students for the 1-year Executive Master's Program. We welcome humanity's participation in the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Where does humanity go from here? That is up to you. Apply today. All formal teachings, lectures, and presentations will be in the English language, with technology available for immediate translation. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be offering 3-year Executive Master Programs for undergraduate degree students and 1-year Executive Master Programs for graduate degree students in the following fields: space transportation, new plasma technology, health, agriculture, materials, energy. The health section is designed to make students able to live in space without the need to return to Earth. To this end, the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute has found processes for many diseases including ALS, cancer, coma, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will offer online teaching courses which will enable anyone, anywhere around the world to enroll and increase their knowledge and understanding. Students will have the opportunity to direct their work towards commercial spin-offs and seek funding through the help of the Keshe Foundation. The access to the new science and new technologies is openly available for peaceful use to the benefit of mankind to make a better world today.
Prematurely stop the screen share there. Okay, that was the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute promotional video, and now connect with Mr. Keshe at the Spaceship Institute. Hi, Mr. Keshe. And we also hear from Kevin Devaney on today's kids workshop teaching. Kevin, Mr. Keshe, would you like to go first, or Kevin there?
No problem. As usual, good day to you whenever you listen to these teachings. And enough. Today we have explained a lot about the creation, and I think a lot of children need to know how and the reason they've been created and why they're here. Maybe they set a different scene for the future of human being on this planet and in the universe. We'll see what Kevin Devana has planned for us. Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Keshe. Hi, Vince.